This is Let's Get Ugly, where no topic is off limits. We're Trish and Disha, two sisters, beauty and fashion experts, and entrepreneurs.
And we're talking to creatives, experts, and people we admire about the ideas, experiences, and conversations shaping culture and them right now.
So today we're joined by Scarlett and Matilde from Sensus Collective, and you've both come from such different sides of the industry that we can't wait to talk about how this union began.
Yeah, we're excited to be here.
So happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I guess it's a great place to start, to be honest. Tell us, how did you guys meet?
I mean, as you mentioned, we both have different businesses outside of Sensus Collective. And years ago, we met through that. We started working together through that. We formed a friendship through that. And then the idea of Sensus kind of came to life from that. Yeah.
That.
I think that's so interesting, especially because you both do have such big different backgrounds. Like Scarlett, yours is more on the digital side, and Matilde, you're a brand founder. Yeah. I wanted to ask you first, Scarlett, what made you decide from the digital space to then kind of come into a more physical realm?
So I think for me, it was like COVID was a huge thing because I'd been so digital focused because everyone was doing everything online. And then I was like, I'm missing human connection, like everyone was. And I was like, I want to do something where I can like bring my network together and like host these events and use all the skills that I have with all the brands I've met and all the people that I know and like kind of have something that's a bit more physical. Yeah. And Matilde and I kind of both craved that physical connection.
Yeah.
Super interesting. Super interesting. And Matilde, obviously as a brand founder, this must have been a huge step for wanting to get your brand out there as well, I'm sure. So tell us about it.
For sure. I think, it's been kind of an interesting landscape in retail in the past few years with independent and emerging brands. It's obviously been a bit tougher. And I think we really kind of wanted to solve that issue and really fix that gap and really give emerging and independent brands a space to showcase their brand in person to the right audience. And that really kind of came at the time, like Scarlett said, where there was nothing in person. People were really, really lacking that. And we kind of just wanted to really emphasize on that and focus on connection as a way to really highlight these amazing independent and emerging brands.
Well, what was it like with the first pop-up? Because, I mean, you guys literally started after a very, very scary period that we all experienced where there was no physical connection. Tell us a little bit about, the feelings and the emotions and how that first pop-up came together.
Yeah. I mean, it started really organically, it was by no means a business. We didn't think of it as that at all. It started really as a way of us to kind of wanting to bring brands that we knew of, people that we knew in the industry together after all of that COVID time. And then after doing it once, twice, and really getting that organic feedback and response, we decided to go all in and
We did one of the first ones in my house, which I do not advise doing because it was so stressful. I was like, when we did it, I was like, oh, it's going to be fun. And I'm like, oh my God, there's like 100 people in my house.
Oh my gosh. How many brands did you guys have at that first one?
Oh my God,
then?
there must have been like 25 or something.
25,
but this was before we launched it as like a proper business, as Matilde said. We just kind of did them for fun and like kind of wanted to just test the waters, and then we realized there was something there.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Exactly.
100 people in my house, though.
I know.
No, it's just
Wow.
It was a lot.
Didn't happen again.
Then you guys are like, maybe we move it outside.
Exactly.
Which is so fun. But for someone who hasn't heard of Sensus before, how would you describe the concept to them? Because obviously you've touched on community and bringing in independent brands and networks, but what is it all about?
So Sensus is a place of discovery, like foremost, and it's basically a place where we house emerging and established brands, but that are curated by Matilde and I. So it's really our eye, but we want people to be able to discover brands from all around the world and find brands that they don't really have access to.
Yeah.
And the whole part of it is obviously community-led. We want the brands to foster communities with the founders, but also the customers, and just have a really nice experience for everyone.
I think we really wanted to redefine the kind of retail experience and landscape. And yeah, exactly. That's really kind of our goal with it.
How do you guys redefine the retail landscape? Can you give me a little bit of an insight into what that means for you? What were the problems that you guys noticed that you wanted to really...
I think we both found that it was quite static and quite boring and quite like just the same everywhere. And we really wanted kind of a fresh take on it and a place to discover brands that are not the same brands that you see everywhere. And that's kind of really where it came from. It started with that.
And also as a brand founder, Matilde, like, did you find that in the COVID time, especially and afterwards, that retail was something that you struggled with? Like, was that a factor?
I think the independent brands and emerging brands do such an incredible job at fostering a community and an audience online, especially with COVID. So many brands had to pivot really the way they were thinking to really kind of focus on that. But I think what a lot of brands struggled with at the time was how to translate that online community into a physical presence and how to really reach the right audience in a physical space that was in a way that was attainable, realistic, and sustainable for kind of emerging brands.
Yeah, I think that was probably really hard and probably is still really hard even without a pandemic to kind of get that real life interaction and community with that audience too.
Yeah, for sure. And also just committing to physical spaces for brands is such a big risk and commitment that this kind of offers a lower risk way of testing audiences in different areas of London with the right network.
I think that's kind of key. It is really all about the right network, but you must have a vetting process too. It's not like, a brand reaches out to you and you're like, sure, come on in.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about like your audit process. When a brand reaches out to you, what do you guys look for?
I mean, I feel like it's almost like an instant feeling. We look at a brand and we're very aligned in kind of the way we think about things and our taste, but really we just need to be sold into the world of the brand and into the product that they're selling. That's kind of the main thing. We need to believe in the brand and the product.
We have to want to buy it or like know people that we feel like will want to buy it.
Yeah.
But it's like how the brand looks as a whole. It's not necessarily like how small they are, how big they are. It's how they present themselves to the world. And Matilde and I just like have a feeling we're like,
exactly. If we can picture them within the Sensus pop-up, we're like, okay, this is a Sensus brand. And even if it's not necessarily our taste ourselves, we know that it caters to our audience and to people that will be in the space.
How would you describe that, though? So if anyone's listening and they're like, okay, I'm a brand founder, I want to be part of this, how would you describe the feeling or the vibe that you'd want them to have?
I think it's a mix of everything. It's like products are obviously the first thing because you're selling the product. Yeah. So we want to make sure the product's of great quality, like you have like different sizing, so you can appeal to different people. You have a like different range of products. But then it's like the branding, the photo shoots, like the social. It's everything, you know? I think in this day and age, it's about like the whole brand and not just looking at like individual small things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like when it comes to a lot of these brands, there must be a lot of startups. Is there like a brand that you guys have as like a success story that you wanted to highlight? Like, I don't know, one that's been like really nice and like you've had a really nice journey with them, introducing them to, your community.
Yeah, I think there's two that really stand out to us. Alfie Paris and Casona. Alfie Paris is a French brand based in Paris and Casona is based in Madrid. And we kind of got them really early on in their journeys and now they're selling out on Revolve, on Forward, on these incredible kind of e-commerce platforms. And we're very proud to having gotten them first. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
For sure.
That's amazing. Honestly, are they both in the fashion space?
In the fashion space, yeah.
Yeah, both fashion brands, yeah.
Cool. That's so interesting. From your guys' experience and probably what you've heard from brands that might be looking to launch over here, like if they're abroad or if they're startups as well, like what do you think that they're struggling with the most right now? Like obviously like COVID's done, thank God. But what do we think they're struggling with now that Sensus helps them with?
Physical like activations, because if you're a brand that's not based in the UK and you're a higher price point, people want to often see, feel, touch the product. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these brands, it's really hard to create wholesale relationships. And after, like Matches went under and they owed all these brands so much money, I think brands are a little bit like more considered about who they work with. So this allows them to do something that's a bit more short term. And as Matilde said, like they don't have to commit like to a huge amount of like orders and money towards it,
Do you think that tactility is like what helps a brand sell in person? Like, do you notice or do the brand founders often say like having that physical presence and having that activation is really like pushing them over the sales threshold.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. Scarlett mentioned, especially over a certain price point, it's more of a considered purchase. People just want to be able to see, feel, touch in person. But not only that, I think it's also the fact that the way that Sensus is structured, we really encourage the brand founders and representatives to be there representing the brand themselves. And so kind of having that in-person interaction and being able to be like, I'm the brand founder, I created this product, this is the story. Really, people buy into the brand and to the product a lot more. And that's why we always tell brands that if they can be there, we really recommend the brand founder being there.
I think that's, founder story is really good. Always, isn't it? Like, I've noticed it's one of those things that really, like, will be no one sells better than the founder, I find.
Sure.
Like, you can have so many other roles involved. It was really interesting because we were speaking to other brand founders recently as well. And they were like, I'm not into recruiting right now. Like, I'm not into, like, expanding my sales. I'm not into expanding my marketing. Like, I do want to do it myself. Because they were like, I know it the best.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's like, it's really inspirational. I feel like, we often hear like that nobody wants to work these days. And I do think that's kind of true to an extent. But then when you see, the passion behind founders, it's always something that carries through.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Definitely, because they obviously know what the USP is better than anyone, and then training someone to say the same thing, it doesn't always land.
For sure. And I mean, we see direct effects from when someone has a brand founder and doesn't. There's a direct sales impact from that. So we can definitely say that it makes a difference.
Yeah.
But we wanted to get in a bit more about, what's coming up for Sensus. And obviously you guys are having a pop-up in June.
Yes.
How are you guys feeling about that? Like, how's the preparation coming along?
Yeah, we're so excited.
Yeah, we're really, really excited.
We have an amazing space off Brompton Road, which we're really excited about because we haven't done that area. We're in the very early stages of onboarding brands, and it's going to be great. You better come.
From the 4th until the 7th of June in South Kent. Yeah.
Amazing. Have you guys made any changes to this specific pop-up based on the experience that you guys have been building up? Can you give us a little insight into how this one's different?
I mean, honestly, they're all so different from each other because really the way that we work is we start with the space first, and then from there we kind of build the theme and the curation and the pop-up. So compared to the last one, it was a one-day, really kind of exclusive pop-up at the 22 in Mayfair. So that was very small, really kind of limited. And with this one, we're doing it for 4 days. It's a street-facing location. We get to have a lot more brands and obviously hopefully do a few more activations in the space and kind of elevate it a bit more. So we really approach them all really, really differently.
I think that the whole idea of building engagement in there with activities could be really fun. What are you guys thinking of doing?
Well, really early stages. We can't say, but we've been having some really exciting meetings with some amazing people that we're hoping to get together to hopefully do some sort of something. You'll see. You'll see.
I can't wait that long.
We're like, tell us now, please.
We will as soon as we know.
Exactly.
Have you guys had activations at previous ones that you felt went well, or is this going to be the first time that you have
We do in our own way. We do fun little things. We got this amazing bright orange Smeg fridge where we had all of our drinks partners in the fridge, and it was super interactive. People could grab a drink and little things like that. But we tend to try focus on the shopping, that is what the brands want. They want to be able to sell as much as they can. So we always try and leverage having as many days for the brands to be able to sell. But obviously now we're kind of thinking about what else we can do for the community, which is exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
I just was wondering because I feel like we see a lot of press activations in general, but they're not necessarily shopping activations. So what creates the, recipe within these events where you're able to actually stimulate that shopping experience?
Yeah, good question. I think, that's something we talk about a lot because there's so many events that, like you said, the purpose is not to get sales. It's not to convert sales. It's to get exposure and kind of get your content creators and influencers, which that is obviously a huge part of our network and our audience. But I think really what makes Sensus so special is that we have an incredible network and audience of customers, of really, really active shoppers that want to go out there and want to discover emerging and independent brands and aren't shy like, you know, they aren't turned off by a higher price point, and they're really, really active shoppers. So I think that's where we really kill it.
Yeah, sounds like it anyway.
Yeah, definitely. When you're building your space for your different pop-ups, obviously I know we can't say too much about June yet, but what do you guys kind of think about first? Like, what's that process like for you guys?
We try and think like about the space and how we're going to make the space work. So we kind of map out like how many brands we think we can fit, and then like what sort of categories we want, because obviously every season is slightly different. So right now it's summer, we know people are traveling, so we're going to focus on like some resort wear, some swimwear, like some accessories, you know, just matching it towards what's going on. I think it's quite important to us.
Yeah.
And what about like the little details? What's a small thing that you guys notice?
Everything. Honestly, you should see us
We're
in
not
the
okay.
space the day before it opens, where we're like, no, we need to fix that. And people are like, no one's going to notice that. And we're like, we know it's there.
We're
And
OCD beyond.
the attention to detail, it goes beyond to the point where people don't even notice half the things that we spend like
Literally.
hours focusing on.
It's so true.
But yeah, we both are super meticulous. Everything is done really intentionally. So yeah, we put every detail. There's no small detail.
And we're very like aesthetics first. Like we want you to like walk in and be like, this is Sensus. You know, like we don't want you to walk in and think of the other brands. We want to be the head of the brands under, you know what I mean? Like we're the umbrella where these brands sit. And that's really important to us.
What is a Sensus aesthetic?
You just know when you walk in.
It's very orange.
Yeah, it's very orange.
It's like vibey. Like
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah,
It
it's
feels-
elevated.
It's elevated.
But it's also fresh and different. It's hard to describe like the aesthetic of it, of course, but we just know when you walk into a space whether it feels like a Sensus space or not.
Yeah, 100%.
We just know.
I love that. I love that we just know.
We just know. Hopefully other people know too.
Yeah, I know, exactly. They do though.
Yeah,
They do. We
they
definitely
do.
get that feedback.
I'm sure they do, especially with all the orange. I mean, that is definitely a striking color to use. But in terms of your kind of day to day, obviously working together and being co-founders, how is that like? Like, how do you guys balance each other out? Because I know you both are very OCD, as you said. But are there any other areas where you might balance each other out, or?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we work so well together, and I think we very naturally gravitate towards things that each of us have, like maybe a bit more strength, you know, and I think we give each other the space to do those things, but we also always come back to each other and we really check things with each other. And yeah, I think in the end, every major decision is really shared. We really get there together, but we also,
100%.
delegate.
And as any startup is, like you kind of do a bit of like Matilde and I do everything.
Yeah.
We're like taking the bins out to like doing the social content to like doing the Excel spreadsheets to doing the invoice. Like, you know, it's not always glamorous, but like we're happy to like graft.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that most people forget about startups. Like they always feel like it looks so glamorous and everything's perfect all the time. But it's also nice to hear that, like, you know, from real founder experience, like you guys are literally having to do everything. Because I think people think like once I own a business, I don't have to do anything.
This is the team.
Yeah, exactly.
This is who you're emailing on customer service.
Exactly.
What are the tasks that you each dislike doing that you pass along to each other?
Oh my God.
Okay, I think I gravitate more towards the logistics of the actual setup in the physical space. And I think Scarlett is really, really good with people.
Yeah, like we have our skills. Matilde is so organized. And like I'm more like, oh, creative and like coming up with ideas. But like Matilde like runs the ship in terms of like making sure everything is like we're doing it in the right way, which is so important because like I feel like it's made me really organized. And you know, like you need that balance of two people.
100%.
For sure.
We bounce off each other a lot.
Yeah.
Sounds like us.
Yeah, and we're
It sounds
constantly on
familiar.
WhatsApp.
Yeah,
like she's
yeah.
the person I speak to the most. Like over my husband, over my mom, over
and
everyone.
also, you know, like there's no boundaries in terms of like, is it too late to mess? And you know, like sometimes it's difficult with colleagues, but I think with Matilde and I, like we want to like succeed and we're like willing to push. And it's like, we understand sometimes we need time off and we respect each other's time, but we always put the business first.
Yeah. And I think also we're both open to hearing each other's opinions and we respect each other's thoughts and opinions. So if I have an idea and Scarlett says, I actually think maybe we should do it like that, I respect that there's a reason why she said that. And I know there's a reason why she's saying that. So I think we work really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I guess also it's like a different starting relationship in a way, right? Because you guys started off as colleagues.
Exactly.
Too.
For sure.
I feel like that helps in a way.
Yeah.
It does. I think it was really organic, as Matilde said, and it just makes it so much easier because we already worked well together.
Exactly.
Which is super great. I mean, have you guys learned something from each other since you've started Sensus? Like, is there like a big lesson that you guys have taught each other through the skills?
I think Scarlett really doesn't take no for an answer. I really admire it. And she's really helped me be a little bit more determined in that way. So that is something. Yeah, thanks, Scarlett.
You're welcome. As I said, Matilde's super organized, so that's definitely been a thing. And also, I think to listen and like really listen to people. You know, when you're working on your own, you can get it in your head. But I think when you have a co-founder, you need to really support each other and hear them out. So that I think is really important.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so sweet, but it's also so practical. And I think I love that. I think that's kind of what makes me resonate the most within this conversation is just how practical you guys are.
Yeah, we are actually very practical,
And I think like there is a lot of like whimsy with like co-founding a business, and there's a lot of whimsy about this co-ownership. But I actually think like this is great.
Yeah,
like,
no, it feels very even. You know, you're never gonna feel like, oh my God, I'm doing more, you're doing it. It's not, it never feels like that, which I think is really important.
And we don't even need to necessarily sit down and be like, okay, here's what I'm doing and here's what you're doing to feel that balance. It's just like we really achieve it very organically.
Which is rare, to be honest. I mean, it's touch wood, but like honestly, I think like it is rare in co-founder thing, especially with friends as well.
Yeah.
But I guess the starting point is what made all that difference for sure.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible, guys.
Thank you. I mean, you guys obviously do a great job at it too.
And
Your
your
sisters and you're
so-
working together, so
Good on you.
We're still alive. We're still here. There's still two of us. It really can get quite ugly with your siblings, because I feel like with siblings it's different. Like you don't have to have certain boundaries.
I have a sister, trust me.
Yeah.
Not pretty.
Yeah, but also I just feel like I could like say whatever and be like really grumpy, and then it's like, what do you want for dinner?
you get over things quicker. Yeah,
definitely.
That's true.
You do. You can be more brutal. And it's like, so are we going shopping? It's the worst and the best.
Yeah. I think also like growing up in different parts of the world does that to you. So like we grew up in Hong Kong, and I was watching a clip this morning. It was like, what are things you love about people from Hong Kong and things that you hate? And someone was like, I love the efficiency, and I love the like, you know, dedication and the determination. And they're really blunt, mean, and rude. And I was like, okay, I feel seen and heard. And like, can you imagine what that must be like for just like the average person that has to work with me? They must think she's nuts.
I don't think that you're that mean.
Okay, good.
You don't come across mean at all so far.
Not at all.
Great. I've heard otherwise.
By who? But yeah, I think that's what's quite funny. But do you think that building this business and looking at the brands that you look at has changed your own taste and style as well as you've kind of gone through the years of doing this?
I think for me, I don't think it's changed my taste and style so much. I think maybe it's just changed the way I approach shopping and consuming brands a little bit. I think before maybe I was very quick to just go to my usual go-to brands that you always kind of go to. And because of Sensus, I've discovered an incredible amount of independent emerging brands that I've really gotten to kind of just discover. So I browse more.
And
For me, the same. I think I used to buy a lot of like wow things that I could never style properly. And now like when I'm at Sensus, I actually think before I shop when I'm there. Like I look at what everyone else is buying, and then I'm like, oh, that looks nice, you know? And also you get to discover amazing brands and be a bit more unique about your style, because it's not like everyone knows about these brands yet.
Yeah, that's great. So I take it you both love shopping from that.
It's a problem when we're selecting, curating the brands. We're like, this one's going to be a problem because we're going to want to shop from all of these.
When you guys look at a successful pop-up, minus lots and lots of sales, what's a good sign that it's gone well?
I think you just get you know, sometimes throughout the day during the pop-up, we're so busy that it's hard for us to stop and really catch up and realize if it's going well or not. But you can get the energy off the people there, the guests, the audience, the brand representatives. You really just feel the energy at the end of the day. Everyone's like, yeah, you just really feel that it was a success.
For sure.
Great. And is there something that you feel like always happens at your pop-ups that's like a signature?
It's always like a vibe. Like you just like look around, you're like, okay, it's a vibe. Like everyone's like having fun. People are there for hours, you know. There's loads of guys there, but there's no guys' clothes. We're like, why are there so many guys here? Yeah. Wonder why? Because there's always like so many women.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
So in that sense, like we kind of like, we try and make it like feel like not just a shopping experience, you know, we want people to socialize, like get to know each other. And it kind of just gives this like ease of shopping that doesn't feel like forced.
Yeah.
When I feel like some of these stores, especially like the really high-end ones, you walk in and you feel like there's pressure, you know? Like we don't want that. We want it to be super relaxed and people to take their time to discover.
People usually like pop in the morning, then they go out for lunch, and then they come back and they hang around, and then they go out. Like it really... everyone in that weekend is like, are you going to Sensus? See you at Sensus? And that's like a really cool feeling that we've gotten to see.
I love that. How are you guys scaling Sensus moving forward?
So we have big plans. We always wanted to kind of have a home for our brands, and we felt like the pop-ups are amazing, but it's hard to kind of like generate like interest once we're not doing an event. So like our dream has always been to have like a platform for the brands to live in online that's like almost curated like our pop-ups, super dynamic, super community driven. So like that's in the pipeline, which is really exciting.
Yeah, we really can't wait.
That's exciting.
Glad that we heard it first.
Yes.
For sure. So before you go, we have 3 quick fire beauty questions that we ask every guest. Obviously, you'll both have to answer.
Amazing.
Now ready?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You go first.
Okay, I'll go. Okay.
What's one beauty rule you love breaking?
I never dry my hair properly, which is really, really bad, but it is the perfect secret to my slick bun.
Ah.
Yeah.
God, what's wrong? I think like less is more when it comes to everything, makeup, clothes. And I think as you get older, you realize these things. And now when I look at myself, I'm like, okay, like I took off the scarf, the scarf off, you know?
I love that. I love that. If you could give your younger self one piece of beauty advice, what would it be?
You don't need to lighten your hair. It's fine. Yeah. I tried to go blonde once, and there's no photo evidence of that. So, yeah, I would say that.
I would say look after your skin, like invest in good skincare. Like beauty is really from within. And I think like when you're younger, you're just like having on the makeup, like not looking after your skin. And now I think I'm very conscious of that. Yeah. And it's like a big part of my daily routine.
What's a beauty moment, good or bad, that you'll never forget?
The blonde hair that I
Still
just
the blonde
mentioned.
hair.
Still the blonde hair haunts me.
The really like thin eyebrows. Oh, I can't, you know? Do you remember back in the day? I'm like, thank God that's out.
But they grew back really nicely,
I know,
by the way.
I know. And you know, now you're just like, whatever, I don't need to pluck them.
Yeah.
But that was not a look.
So I've heard that like eyebrow hair doesn't grow back. Like if you overpluck it, it's like gone as you get older. And so now I'm like, I'm never touching them ever again.
Oh my God, that's honestly.
Yeah, be precious.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, thank you both so much. This was such an interesting conversation, and it was so great to hear about what you guys are doing with Sensus and all your upcoming plans and the vibes that you have in the pipeline.
Thank
you
guys
so
much. for having
We
us.
can't wait to see you there.
Yeah, absolutely. And for anyone listening, today's a reminder that people still definitely want to discover things properly and in person, not just exclusively scroll past them. We can't wait for the next Sensus Collective pop-up. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys so much again.
Amazing. And that's a wrap.